better than HD. It's live and in person. We're thrilled to welcome you to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. Now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Sarah Vantine.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are coming to you live at Northwood University. Ted, we have an incredible panel with us today.
We do. We have the Northwood University Fixed Operations class with two students, Hannah Wood and Zach McLeod, and led by none other than Mike Stoll from CDK. Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ted, thanks for having us, and we appreciate what you and your crew does to support and put out good news about the preeminent greatest automotive university in the United States, Northwood University. So thanks again for coming, Ted. We appreciate you.
And Mike, I think we get a chance now to see it close up when we come here to Northwood. So tell us a little bit about the Fixed Operations class. We've heard so much about it and your involvement. In fact, Sarah, I think we need to call Mike Professor Stoll when we have him here on stage.
Well, that's awful kind. So CDK is heavily invested, Ted, in the future development of the future leaders in America, in North America, and wherever they might want to go across the globe. We have a learning lab here, where they can do live in process training, on the system itself. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to hang out with Hannah and Zach and their classmates in a fixed operations class. And we had a problem that we posed to the students this year to solve what Brian was talking about earlier, and that's the $420 billion customer pay labor market in North America and the defection of those customer pay labor customers to the independents, right? And we challenged them with a workflow design to win back those customers and how to keep them and sustain the growth. And I'll let Zach and Hannah talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it. They're designing a workflow, and then what the end game is when we have some dealers actually come in and challenge them on the project.
All right. Well, Hannah, I know I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. So tell us a little bit about the class and the great work that you folks are doing.
Yeah, so we split up into two groups. We have the service and then we have the customer. And so Zach and I are actually on the same team. We're on the service team. And then after a little while, we'll be going through a workflow. And so we're trying to split up each section of how a customer walks in all the way down to right when they leave and when they need to come back. So once the class is coming to an end, we go and we present it to dealerships. And it's just going to be great. It's the fact that we have this kind of opportunity to even present something like this to real professionals out there. It's something that I'll always be grateful for, and that's something only Northwood can offer.
So Zach, actually taking this out to real dealers and presenting them with the solutions that you've helped develop and getting their feedback.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun project to do solely because we're also learning to put this whole process together, but then pitch it to the dealership. That's something that not everyone gets to do in our class and gets to do in other classes as well. So I think Northwood has that big opportunity for us to really be working with those dealers and see that whole thing come together. Sorry.
No, Hannah and Zach, so it's incredible that you're going out to dealerships and getting to apply what you're learning in class with Mike into the real world. So what would you say has been, most impactful for you going through this process in this class? Hannah, I'll start with you.
Okay, so I would have to say the most impactful part I've had is we've had to get back up. I mean, Mike Stoll is such a great person, but he broke it down for us, and we're going even deeper than just surface level. We're getting down to something that not just trying to fix a problem, but we're trying to make it to where the dealership can actually use what we're learning and what we're trying to develop and bring it into their workspace.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think that working through this whole process, you think you scratch the surface and then there's a whole nother layer underneath it where it's, what about this? What about this? What are we going to do if this happens? And that whole process just keeps digging deeper. So I think for us, we have the time and luxury to be able to dig a little bit deeper and go through that whole process again and again and again. So I think that's a really nice idea that we have.
We broke them up, Ted, the consumer side and the service department side. Right? So we took half the class and said, okay, you go in this room and you think like a consumer and how do I want to be treated from the online process all the way into when I show up? And we said, okay, service side, you take from opening the reparator all the way through the technicians, the parts department, communication back to the consumer, in order to improve the customer experience. So we didn't design this for what's good for all car dealerships. We took the focus of what's good for the consumer. Because at the end of the day, it's their love and their respect and their customer experience that we have to win back to automotive. And what was fun is they're in the middle of this. I've been not in class for the last week, but the customer class looks like this from workflow. It's really cool because they know what they want. But when you get to the dealership side, it's broke. You know, it's very actual what's happening right now. So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to crisscross a couple of the students from the service side to the consumer side and flip them over so they can start aligning the process. And then what actually happens, we have several dealers in the market that really look forward to coming up and enjoying this. It's not a debate, but the students show the workflow. They're trying to win back the customer pay labor. They're trying to get from 300 to 500 in customer pay labor, but the customer experience is the important part, right? And how do we win them back and keep them and retain them? So when they come in, they actually challenge. I didn't get them into the details yet, the students, but they actually challenge the workflow. And then the cool thing is, Hannah mentioned it already, they get to go out to the dealership and present the workflow that they designed to all the leadership group at the store. Wow. And then the end goal is maybe there's an opportunity for Hannah, maybe there's an opportunity for Zach, where the dealership personnel say, you know what, there's some brightness here, there's some newness here, there's some freshness here, and let's figure out how we can provide a career opportunity or a future opportunity for the students.
So Hannah first and then Zach, you're presenting that to the leaders at the dealership, real leaders. Can that be a little intimidating at times?
Oh, yeah, very well could. Before we started the class, we went and we saw specific service dealerships just down the road from Northwood. And so we got to see what it was like. We got to see what we liked and what we didn't like. And from there, we have to build off of that. And it's definitely scary, especially because we're both on the service side. Like, not saying the customer side was much easier, but it's hard to, get knocked down so many times, and hopefully soon we can crack the code. We still have so much time left, but it's definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
Zach?
I would definitely agree. I think that it's a little nerve-wracking to get in front of dealers, especially a decent amount of them, and tell them that there's places you can improve. I think not a lot of people want to hear that they could make some improvements, but I think now, from a young perspective, that's something we really have to offer, and that's something Northwood really fosters, is having young people in charge of making changes in the industry. So I think for us in the automotive, especially in the fixed op side, we can be that generation that kind of pushes everything forward and is able to make that change that's needed, I would think.
So Hannah, it sounds like perhaps some of the dealers or dealer people have challenged you, on some of the things you've presented.
Yes, they have, yeah. And it's hard, especially the first week. That's what you start with is, hey, we don't like this, we're going to work on it, and then we're going to come back in 18 weeks and we're going to tell you what to be better about. And so I definitely think that it's something that challenges also us to say, well, us students can do better. And so
what's interesting to me, Ted, is that the Northwood University provides this automotive platform for these students to get to the OEM, to get to the aftermarket, to get to the retail. And when we go through the fixed operations side, it's not glamorous. Everybody wants to be up on the sales side, and everybody wants to be up, doing the sales side. But when they sit and go through the fixed ops thing, they actually start to get enthused about what the opportunities, could be for them. And we've had several students that have been through this over the last couple of years that are now being very successful service advisors, assistant service managers. One of them's on a director's path already. So we're starting to see the fruits of the labor, of what they're doing, but it's hard. And they're not afraid to ask me questions and challenge me on what I'm talking about, because they say, Mike, you know what? We love you, but we think the consumer needs this. So that type of dialogue is very, very encouraging to me, and it's what keeps CDK involved in the development and the growth of these future leaders.
And Mike, I imagine all of these problems that you're solving in this classroom give the opportunity to really enhance the technology that you're also providing to both the dealer and the consumer.
Well, I'm going to let Zach speak on that, because he not only is like Hannah, a bright future leader, he took it very seriously and took his car into a dealership recently to get it worked on, and he actually got behind the scenes. So you might want to share about.
I did. Yeah, not completely by choice, getting your car towed into the store, but it was a good process to be able to see from the consumer side. I think that everyone does things a little bit differently, some better than others, and that's where you get to see those differences when you're really living it, bringing your car in, you're waiting for the call, say that your car's done, you're going through the RO, you're seeing your price, everything of that sort. So I think to see that and be a part of it has really helped me through the project as well. That way I can really be kind of undercover in a way to see how everything's working.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way,
In a
undercover.
good way.
So back to your comment, Sarah, that technology helps, but what we're coaching is the workflow design. And of the industry itself, when you ask an automotive group, do you have a written workflow for every individual service customer, every time, every way, all the way through the channel? It's about 35% right now. So what they're actually designing is a workflow that could be in practicum out in the marketplace in a best practice. So as you design a workflow for every customer every time, and with the end game of getting the consumers to be able to come back in, then you just lay that workflow down on the technology to create those efficiencies, and you increase the customer pay labor, you increase the customer's love for your organization, and everybody wins.
Well, Mike Stoll, congratulations to you and CDK for leading this here at Northwood University. Nothing like it in the industry. Hannah Wood and Zach McLeod, congratulations to both of you in the fixed operations class for all the good work that you're doing. Everybody, you're hearing an example at home of not only the real world application that students get here at Northwood, but I think also of the networking, all right, and the engagement and involvement with real people in the industry. So we're very humbled to be here at Northwood. Sarah Vantine and I.
CDK fits into what we try to do here very well for one reason. It works. The resources you have allow you to run a car dealership the way that it's supposed to be run. The CDK Fixed Op Suite allows the service advisor to concentrate on the customer. That has been just the biggest game changer. It's changed the entire face of the business, both in customer transparency and trust. We're pushing right at about a 20% increase in CSI.
Without CDK, I don't think we could be as successful as we are today. We've had record months for the past 14 months.
We've seen a 30% increase in gross profit in our service department in just 1 year, and up 25% in our parts department.
We went from 1.5 to 2 hours per RO on an average to probably more like 5 to 7 per average on an RO.
We use CDK all day long. There's literally nothing that you can do that doesn't require CDK's systems in order to do your job. What I'm most excited about with CDK, the evolution of the product itself. I like the direction it's going. It's going to make people's lives even easier.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings, Carol Kilner, and Shon Kingrey. Ted, we have an incredible group with us today at Northwood University.
Yep, what a venue, Sarah. Just an amazing time. We're so honored to have Carol Kilner from BL Innovair with us today, and our great friend, Shon Kingrey from the Kaiser Automotive Group. Carol and Shon, welcome.
Thank you, Ted. Honored to be here.
Yeah. So, Carol, I have heard so much about you and your company. I thought it was just an overnight success until I found out that you've been in this market for 25 years. Congratulations to you. I saw some of the things you did in Germany recently on Facebook. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Yes, I like to think of us as a 20-year startup, Ted. We've been around in the inspection industry. We've developed some pretty cool products over the years, and I think we've had that singular focus on vehicle inspection technologies, and we've got a great innovative team creating these products for our customers.
And we're here in Michigan today, but you're also here in Michigan as well.
Yes.
So, Shon, why is this such an important time for inspection systems like this, for dealers like you?
You know, I think we talk a lot, Ted, and again, I apologize for my voice, but I think we talk a lot about removing the roadblocks. And I think one thing that her program does, or their company does, is it removes a roadblock. It takes away, when your vehicle comes across, for those who aren't familiar with it, comes across the service drive, it takes a picture on steroids, for lack of better words. And it takes away that conflict that you did it, the car wash did it, and the finger pointing, because you can't hide. Simply as that, you just can't hide.
And Carol, it's very transparent, which the customer expects in today's market as well.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We kind of like to think of it as bubble wrap for your fixed ops people.
Yes.
I mean, the whole idea of the product came about because these fixed ops people were telling us about how much money they had to spend and how much stressful it was dealing with these damage claims. So that was kind of our inspiration for the product. And we knew from the get-go we couldn't design a $100,000 product to solve a $20,000, $30,000 annual problem for our customers. So that's kind of how we got started with that product.
Carol, you touched on the customer experience. So the customer being the dealer and the customer experience at the dealership, how does BL Innovair really set a different expectation for delivery of an incredible inspection process?
Well, I think the technology is transformative in that service lane. I mean, I'm a customer as well. I have choices where I take my car for service. And I think the big difference in whether I go to a dealership or this aftermarket is that customer experience. And I see dealerships spending a lot of money on that image and having these products at the intake lane. So as I bring my car in for service, I'm walking over to the counter and, Shon, you're presenting me my report to say, hey, we checked your alignment today. Looks like there might be something going on there. Can we get your machine or your car up on the rack there today? And by the way, we've documented your car. We take good care of it, but I'll share this link here to let you know we've got your car covered here.
And Shon, it's professional. And I think today, in today's day and age, the customer has come to expect this type of technology from their dealership.
I don't know if there's any better way you can say it, Ted. I think we're at a different level, and if there's one thing we picked up from Northwood this week, certainly this week, is it's all about the customer experience, and it removes that he said, she said. You're right, the clients are expecting when they come in. We're charging a premium price, they expect a premium service.
Carol, BL Innovair has not one, but several product lines. I'm really fascinated. You've got the Fast Line, you've got the Bodyguard. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about each one, if you could?
Yeah, for sure. The Fastline product is interesting, and it's a little known fact. We're actually the original innovators of that product about 10 years ago. So it's had a bit of a journey there. It's a product that we tried to solve a problem where they needed to do a quick assessment, pass-fail of whether a vehicle was in alignment. And then we realized that this has a real value in the dealership market space. At the time, they were using chocks on wheels. It was a stopping process. So we thought if we could bring this to the dealership space, it's going to really help them triage the cars and vet the cars that are in need of additional service. And 30 to 40% of the vehicles coming in today are in need of some sort of alignment service. So that's a huge opportunity for the dealers.
And Bodyguard as well. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so Bodyguard we designed just to solve that problem of dealing with customer complaints. And the latest version of the Fastline product that we just released this year, we actually have taken the Bodyguard features and put them in the Fastline product because we recognized a lot of the service lanes had both products. So why not combine them?
And Carol, the work you're doing is not just here in the United States, but it's around the world. I saw a post recently on social media, and here's Carol Kilner in Germany, okay? And talking to dealers and working with dealers. That's fascinating to have that foothold in other markets.
Yes, it was our first time at the Auto Mechanica presenting there. We're actually in 18 different countries around the world, so we're not a newcomer to this business, but I think we're a little bit unknown in the U.S. market, which is something we're trying to change.
Well, we're going to help change that and get the word out there, Sarah.
Absolutely, Ted. And Shon, Carol's talking about this global expansion of how we communicate with customers, and we see so many businesses getting into the marketplace, not just in their local economies, but on such a bigger scale. How does a product like BL Innovair really help, the dealerships, Kaiser, in your local market, and then beyond that?
I think, and again, something else that was brought up here at Northwood this week, excuse me, was that you have to embrace the technology side of it. And it was one thing that I think that Brian Benstock brought up yesterday was BIVs are here. They're not going away. We have to accommodate that. And do you need a human element to touch everything along the sales process or the service process? And I think this is a big piece of that is if you can remove that human element, the old alignment check on the service drive where you had to bolt 4 things up to wheels that lasted about a month. And it's just how long it lasted because that person ended up running on lunch runs or became the porter or became the service advisor when somebody called in sick. This removes that human element and uses technology.
Well, and Carol, the things that dealers are thinking about in all of this innovation is really, sometimes there's the technology apprehension. Okay, so I'm not really sure I'm comfortable doing things one way. Maybe I did it this way in my shop, and change can be difficult for a dealer to embrace with their employees and getting the learning out there. So how does BL Innovair really prepare the dealership to implement these services?
I think one of the big things is we want to talk to the dealerships before and understand what their goals are in getting this product in there, because we certainly don't want to sell them a product that they're not going to use. I mean, Bodyguard is almost no workflow changes. It just kind of does its job. It's like that extra employee that doesn't need a break or time off. Fastline's a little bit more involved. It involves workflow and training from the service advisor point of view. So there's definitely that training and tools to monitor its usage and making it an effective tool for them.
Shon, how does all this tie into the need to save the customer and to respect their time at the dealership and to make it more efficient for the consumer when they come into the dealership?
Again, number one concern of the customer isn't price, it's time. How convenient do we make it? And if there's one thing with mobile pickup and delivery and everything we've all proven, we have to do what the client wants. It really comes down to that. And again, back to the alignment check and back to everything, anything you can do to remove the objections or remove that conflict or those roadblocks for the customer, it's never a bad idea.
Well, Ted, we've also been hearing, the big word this week at Northwood University has been all around the hospitality component. But, the hospitality really extends beyond the people interaction. It's also the technology.
Yeah, and the technology is available, and it's changing, and it's growing, and it's getting better, okay? And BL Innovair is a great example of that. We've seen a need now for quite a long time on service drives to have these automated inspections. But Carol, what I've seen BL Innovair done is you've really taken it to a whole new level for dealers.
We have, Ted. We've worked very hard, and we've used our experience over the number of years to listen to our customers and incorporate this into our products and offerings.
And you've got a great team, okay? And you've also got something similar to what we see here at Northwood. I detect the passion in your company, okay, and around what you do and building the culture and your products as well. If you'd like to speak to that, I think that's not just some company that's doing this.
Yeah, I think people is the key to success. My job as a leader of the company is to find the right people passionate about something, find a role that they're good at, and combine that and with something we need. And I think that's what success.
Well, Sarah, I think the timing is great, okay? We're here at Northwood University with Shon Kingrey from Kaiser Automotive Group and Carol Kilner from BL Innovair. Carol, I want to congratulate you on the success you're having, and I look forward to great things about BL Innovair. And here on the Fixed Ops Roundtable and having you involved with the Fixed Ops community here in retail, I think the sky's the limit for you folks.
Well, thank you for that opportunity, Ted, and I look forward to serving this market.
Everybody, we're here at Northwood with Carol Kilner from BL Innovair, Shon Kingrey from Kaiser Automotive. I'm with Sarah Vantine, Ted Ings here at Northwood University. We're going to be right back.
I'm out here today appraising and buying cars from total strangers using just two things, our AccuTrade mobile app and our Bluetooth OBD2 scanner. That's all we need in order to give them a 100% instant offer guaranteed by AccuTrade. So let's tell Maeve what her vehicle is worth and what we're willing to write you a check for.
Let's do it. No way!
Right?
No! I might want my check.
Oh, we can. That's all it takes.
In automotive, we know that innovation drives us forward. The Fixed Ops Roundtable Certified Program is designed to help preferred dealers and partners with powerful tools, resources, and marketing to achieve even greater success. Ted Ings and I invite you to learn more today at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are coming to you live from Northwood University's 61st International Auto Show. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Katrina Ness and three remarkable young women and students at Northwood University.
Yes, it is so wonderful to be able to be on a panel with our peers. So going down the line, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourself, your major, and your role in the auto show, as well as your name?
My name is Mariah Thompson. I'm from Houghton Lake, Michigan. I am a freshman here, and I'm majoring in finance and sports management.
I'm Bella Smylie. I'm a sophomore here in the accelerated program. I'm from Clare, Michigan, studying data analytics.
and I am the Signature Events Vice Chair for the 61st Auto Show.
I'm Ashtyn Lange. I'm a junior. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan. I'm the co-captain for Porsche this year, and that's about it.
So what has your Northwood experience been like so far at Northwood University, both in and out of the classroom, starting with Ashtyn?
It honestly has been incredible. The experience within the classroom, starting with that, the one-on-one conversations that I have with my professors is just incredible. You wouldn't get that experience at like a bigger D1 school. Like the academics here is really shown that it comes first, and it means so much. It's so nice. And then I'm also a part of the soccer team, so that has a lot to do with being a leader and showing responsibility and stuff. But
absolutely, yeah, being a student athlete is not easy. So kudos to you.
I think my biggest thing is just being able to have that one-on-one, like Ashtyn said, with your professor. They really they want to see you succeed here. Most of our professors are from the industry, so they really do know what they're talking about when they come into the classroom. And they give you all the knowledge that you need to be able to enter the workforce and just to do your best and put your best foot forward. But they really care about their students, and I take that to the heart when I walk into my classrooms and sit down and listen to my professors teach, because they care and they want to see it succeed.
Going off of what Ashtyn and Bella said, I would say the professors for sure, you get that one-on-one, but also just the environment you're put in. The students, faculty, everything is just very positive. It's very motivating, and just everyone wants to see you succeed. So
For sure. And going off to like experiential learning, we have different events that students can get involved in that push them straight. And we get a jump start to our careers. And once we head into the workforce, we have great experience behind us. Some examples of this is like our auto show or our fashion show, different learning opportunities, and working one-on-one with professors for sure is what we heard a lot of. So why'd you guys choose Northwood?
my first tour here, I absolutely loved it. I knew from that day that I was going to come here. I didn't do any more tours. I have a friend here that's a junior that really inspired me to come here, but the tour just, she just connected to me in a way that no other place would.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have the one-on-one with your professors. It's a small, like, close-knit campus, so you get to know everyone, you get to make connections, and it's the most important for looking in careers forward.
Absolutely. I actually planned to go out to Maine for college, and that clearly did not happen. My mom was like, why don't we just tour somewhere that's a little more close to home? So I was like, okay, let me go tour Northwood. And I got here, I toured. I got back in the car with my mom, and I just started crying. And she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, Mom, I don't want to go to Maine anymore. Like, Northwood is my home, and I've been here ever since, and I love it, and I'm thriving, and I've met the best people that I could have ever surrounded myself with. So that is why I chose Northwood.
Chills. I completely feel the same way. I had a couple tours before, and then I came here, had a nice one-on-one walk around with the soccer coach, and I personally fell in love with the campus. The fall, personally, is what sold me. I got to do my tour in the fall, and the leaves falling and the changing. It was just incredible. I wouldn't have asked for anything better.
Wow. Remarkable stories. So let's talk about Northwood's guiding philosophy, the Northwood idea, which values freedom, personal responsibility, and free enterprise. So my question is, what does the Northwood idea mean to you?
It means a lot, because you have to really take that to the heart, and you have to take it as like how you want to be as a person, and the way that you want to live your life, and how you want to take your career off.
Yeah.
It really, because that was another thing that really helped me choose Northwood. Yeah. Because no other place has like a philosophy like that, and they're not striving for much. They just are trying to get their classes done. But here, you want to go above and beyond.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think the philosophy and the idea behind individual responsibility, I think it allows our students to not just gain the knowledge inside the classroom, but also outside of it. But also just to know that the university has their back while they put their best foot forward. And it's just, it gives you that little extra nudge of, I can do it. And it's on me to take on the responsibility to be as successful as I can be. It's, you get out what you put into it. And just, I mean, being here, they really teach you how to put your all into something that so you can get the most out of it.
Well, you two did a very good job of explaining that. Individual responsibility really hits home to me as well, because honestly, no one else is going to do it for you. So if you want to be successful at the end of the day, then it has to be you. I come from a small town, so it's very nice to branch out and do cool things and just learn and put your best foot forward and go from there.
Of course. So Northwood's mission is to develop future leaders. So how are you going to take what you've been learning inside and outside of the classroom from Northwood and use that as a foundation for your career?
Honestly, Northwood has taught me to branch out and be myself. And honestly, just don't be scared. Just go out there and do your best. And I honestly think that will be the best in my career. I am going to really hope for sports management, doing the finance for them. And sports are fun. So if you do a job that you have fun, you don't work a day in your life. So it's very excited.
I think just the way that they teach us here, and they just allow us to learn, make connections that'll help us thrive in the workplace. But I think just like helping us, they guide us, they get us ready, and then they just kind of send us off and they're like, go make us proud. And that's what I hope to do, but just allowing them to do that for me. I mean, coming here, I like to talk to people, kind of a yapper. Oops. But they've taught me how to talk to people that I would be nervous to talk to.
Wow.
Like the industry leaders that I would normally be very nervous to talk to, Northwood has done a very good job of teaching me, start with a handshake, just go for it. Hi, I'm Bella Smylie. It's so nice to meet you. And you just start a conversation from there.
Networking.
Yes.
Wonderful.
You guys explained that great, but I would just like to add that it's just help. They're not doing all of it for you and like trying to be too much. They're just guiding you, and then like she said, they just send you off and you're ready to experience the world.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and on behalf of myself, Vanessa, the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and Northwood University and our students, thank you guys for watching, and continue to view and stream the next segments.
Go mad!
Go mad! Go mad!
Go mad!
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are at Northwood University, and with us today, Fred Fordin of Dealer Pro. Ted, I'm excited to get to talk to Fred about some of these incredible developments he's had in his company.
Fred is one of the great names in retail automotive, one of the great innovators, ahead of his time in many, many ways. Fred, welcome to the Roundtable and welcome to Northwood University.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, this place is incredible. I am so psyched after 2 days here. It's really just an amazing environment. The people that go to school here, there's something different. There's something different in the water or the air, but whatever it is, it's working.
You know, while we heard from a lot of great friends and industry leaders, I agree with what you and I said, we're talking about earlier. It's the students who really have been the highlight of the show.
They really have. Where do you find 18 to 22-year-olds who have that kind of air about them, the confidence, the knowledge of the industry already? It's just amazing.
So congratulations to you on your new company, Dealer Pro. We talked about it at the last roundtable. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the industry.
Sure. Thank you, Ted. So, since I left CDK a couple of years ago, it's really been, what am I going to do next to affect the industry? It's not, what am I going to do for a living? How am I going to make a lot of money? It's really, how do you affect the industry? Because then business just takes care of itself. And so, my partner is a dealer operator who has 30 some odd stores up in the New England market. And he actually had built some cool software. And what he didn't know was, does this thing have legs? Can it really be an industry changer, or was it just working for his stores? So my son Charles and I went up there and we met, and we spent a few months analyzing. And what we discovered was that this guy's really smart, and he built a couple of really, really strong products. They needed some TLC to be ready to go out and operate at an enterprise level. But beyond that architecture stuff, the things that were built into the software packages were really dynamic, and really some of them could be industry changing. So we're excited.
So do you feel like perhaps maybe you've done this before, and now with this newest venture, you are on to the next thing, which could just blow up big and explode and be a big positive thing?
Yeah, absolutely. It certainly, that's the plan, is that it will be. This gives us a very different experience than we had with ASR Pro, 10 and 15 years ago. Back then, it was a store at a time. Nobody knew who we were. The technology was new to the industry. This is a very, very different scenario. This is technology that people are already looking for, but we've gone to the next level with it. And we've really, we've taken the next steps that will be very, very enticing to dealerships.
And you brought ASR Pro to life, okay? And now that is a common phrase now in the industry, ASR Pro.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's funny.
That's you. That's you.
And it's funny. The customers, the customers who are either X-Time and Spec customers or CDK service customers, they're still calling it ASR Pro. I still get phone calls on my cell phone. Is this ASR Pro? No, hasn't been for 10 years, but let me give you the right number to call. It's been exciting. It's been exciting to make that big of a dent in the industry.
Well, and Fred, from a perspective as a business owner and an investor, now having one incredibly successful business, now going into Dealer Pro, what are some of the pieces that you look for in an up and coming technology?
That's a great question, Sarah. So the first thing is it already being done? And if it is, how well is it being done? What opportunities still exist to go out and make that difference for the dealerships? And part of analyzing that is, does my son Charles, does our CTO have the vision to see beyond what's already existing and create something new and different? And we've been really lucky. We've got a great team.
You do have a great team. I've had a chance to peek behind the curtain a little bit. It's got to be an exciting time for you, in an exciting time in our industry. Probably anything like the time we're going through right now.
Yeah, I mean, the business right now is, we have so many opportunities. There's new technology in the vehicles themselves with EVs. Kia and Hyundai just announced that they've done something great with hydrogen. BMW's done something great with hydrogen. This industry is just going to continue to expand and grow, in the decades in front of us. And that creates opportunity for all of us as industry experts.
I didn't realize that you and Sarah had met many, many years ago. I don't know if you want to tell us about that.
We didn't realize it until dinner last night. We're all sitting there as a group, and Sarah starts to tell the story about her beginning at Hendrick. And I went, wait a minute. I thought you started at Scott Clark. No, I started at Hendrick. And it turns out she started in the store that I used to work at. And we discovered that, she was running the BDC in my old store, Performance Automotive. And I actually trained her on using the BDC piece of ASR Pro all those years ago, and we just didn't remember it.
And it's incredible, Fred, because the pieces that were so important in that BDC department, that was foundationally the biggest piece of, I would say, my professional trajectory, because having the ability to really be able to communicate effectively what's going on with a vehicle, what is going on in the service department. And then, if the customer didn't have the opportunity to get the work performed at that time, now we have the opportunity to get them back in. And it's all about the time savings. And Fred, could you speak a little bit? There is a lot of conversation at Northwood University during this event around hospitality. And I feel like ASR Pro really delivered that hospitality element. Could you talk a little bit about how Dealer Pro is going to be utilizing some of those pieces as well?
Yeah, so, it's funny. My other career in life has been in the restaurant industry. And when I was running my BMW store down in Florida, I would hire salespeople. I'd go to lunch and meet a great waiter and say, you could be making a lot more money, working no worse hours than you're working in a restaurant. But I could give you a career. And we ended up with a sales floor of 11 sales guys and gals.
Okay.
And 7 of them came out of restaurants. And so, we proved that hospitality is a big part of succeeding in the automotive industry. Where Dealer Pro is concerned, this is not as end user customer centric. This is really management having tools to operate better, and it doesn't really translate down to the paying customer. But even so, when you can make a manager, an owner, a general manager better at understanding what they're doing, that is going to have some element of customer centric values. It's going to enable them to deliver that.
And Fred, you're in the business intelligence space, if I may.
Yes, that's one of the products that we have at Dealer Pro is a business intelligence tool, and we've kind of taken it to the next level. Where it's not just take all of that raw data and find the best ways to present it. It's take all of that raw data, find the best ways to present it, and make the right recommendations, right? So that the dealer principal or the general manager or the sales manager doesn't have to go down the line with that data to try and figure it out. The other side of it is we have a complete inventory solution. And so it's about recon, and it's about are you stocking the right inventory? Where are you more profitable? Are you more profitable on the cars you're buying in the service lane, or the ones you're taking in trade, the ones you're getting at the auction? What's giving you the best opportunity to make a living? And so, and that ties back to business intelligence. So we've got multiple products all tying together.
It sounds like you're removing some of the silos that historically have been present in the automotive industry. There's always fixed ops and variable ops. This data, it sounds like, really gives you the opportunity to look at your entire business holistically.
That's exactly what it does. I'm not even going to comment beyond that. You did it perfectly.
Well, Fred, congratulations to you on Dealer Pro. I know it's been in the works for a long time. I know it's out now. Great success to you. I know you have a lot coming. We're going to see a lot of you at the Fixed Ops Roundtable and continue to. And I look forward to having you dominate this space. Okay?
Thank you, Tim.
In retail automotive.
Really appreciate it.
Because I know
Thank
you
you.
will. Okay.
That's our goal.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
One of the best track records in the industry, everybody. Fred Fordin, Dealer Pro. He's here with us at Northwood University. We're at the pop-up event, and we will be back.
You have all the data you need from your DMS, but we make that data impactful and useful for your dealership. We scrub and normalize your data and present your most important KPIs. Reports for every department viewed as real time against month over month, same month last year, and trend analysis with pacing numbers throughout the month. Revenue and expense dashboards for sales, F&I, service, parts, and body shop. We analyze frozen capital, inventory health, and stock level recommendations against your market. The most in-depth projection and exception system in the industry, allowing for all planning and review meetings to be far more rigorous and results-oriented. Dealer Pro BI, the direct path to future success.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We're at Northwood University. And Ted, today we're going to be talking with Skyler about some very interesting and timely topics in automotive.
Sarah, that's right. We're one of the great friends of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's Skyler Chadwick from Cox Automotive. Skyler, welcome, and welcome to Northwood University as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for both having me. This is an amazing event that is being hosted here this weekend. I'm very impressed with these students and what they're doing. Sure.
Now, if you ever tune into a Fixed Ops Roundtable, it's not a Fixed Ops Roundtable without this man right here, Skyler Chadwick. I believe that you and I were introduced by a mutual friend in Sacramento, Tully Williams.
Very definitely. Tully and I talk very often. He's a great partner of the success of this organization, but also our Cox Automotive as well.
So you got a lot going on at Cox Automotive. First of all, what's the latest on Skyler Chadwick? I know you're overseeing overseeing everything over there. So
yeah, I've taken a new role and on our V Auto side too as well, really helping dealerships with inventory, which is a huge struggle today. and just really help ensure that we maximize and helping dealerships maximize their gross profits and helping them understand in the industry. And I really truly think that when we talk about inventory and the sale of vehicles, that's where we truly fix op starts. And so I've had a great privilege of moving over there and helping grow that business on that side too, but also continuing my efforts with X-Time and our fixed operation solutions there as well. And partnering with our OEMs. I think that's one of my biggest things that I've done this month tremendously, working with our OEMs and bringing better partnerships between our products and them.
Well, Skyler, you mentioned vAuto and X-Time, and I know a lot of our dealers are thinking about, okay, so what's the connection exactly here? Sales and service, typically in the industry, we've been a little siloed. So what are some of the developments that you're seeing dealerships implement?
Yeah, I think service starts at the time of acquiring that vehicle, right? I think the biggest customer for a service department is the actual front end of the business. When we acquire vehicles, those vehicles have to be ready for service, right? And to sell back to customers. So service plays such a pivotal role in that experience and making sure that we get vehicles prepped and ready to go in the service department to make sure that they're ready to go on the floor to sell to customers as well. So we're really helping bring those together with integrations, making sure that we understand what's going on with that vehicle, right? There's nothing better to a general manager or used car manager knowing what has been done on that vehicle from day one. It's been at their dealership. And so having that integration with our platform with data is such a huge advantage for our dealerships.
And I'm hearing that consistent message from Cox Automotive now, removing the silos. It's all one. I mentioned Tully earlier. He's been talking about that for a long time. You and I had a chance to spend some time at his dealerships. Are you seeing some of the better dealerships do that type of thing, removing silos?
Yeah, I think that we got to break down these barriers, right? Everything is about the customer experience and trust. I think that we play a pivotal role of trust with our consumers and making sure that they understand that when they buy that vehicle from a dealership like the Nilo Auto Group that we're talking about here today, is super important to that customer, right? The customers, right, even though that their journey, that they bought the car, their journey doesn't stop there, right? It also goes into service, it goes into parts, and then what happens is that customer is ready to turn that vehicle in, and it's so important to make sure that reintroduction back to sales is so important.
Well, Skyler, you talked about the customer experience, and we hear across the industry that is continuing to be so important in that relationship building and the customer loyalty aspects. And I know some service managers might be a little bit nervous thinking about, well, wait a minute, is my used car manager going to be coming into my service drive and trying to appraise my car? Is that taking technician work away? What are some of the best practices that you see at Cox Automotive with that handoff between sales and service?
I will say this from right now, from day forward, dealers that are listening to us today, we are in an age of data, right? It's no longer about gut feelings anymore. It's about we understand the customer, who they are, right? Is this customer in the buying signals, right? Are they showing us buying signals by visiting our websites like autotrader.com, right? Things like that, or going to KBB to get valuations on their vehicle. It's so important that you understand that, right? I think this concern about you're going to steal my customer, right? But guess what? That customer, we got to continue to reintroduce them back into the service department. It's so important to those specific things to make sure that we follow that data. I think data is the key to understanding and unveiling the important message here of how dealerships can be successful.
We're at Northwood University, Skyler, and we've had some of your peers from Cox Automotive here, such as Grace, who spoke yesterday, and I'm hearing that word transparency more and more. And that seems to be what Cox Automotive is all about. I don't know if you have to speak to that as well.
Yeah, I think it's being transparent from start, right? I think video is such a huge impact in the service departments today, and if dealerships are not on that, we need to get them going on that, right? There's nothing that builds more transparency with videos and pictures and things like that. That's the same thing that we're doing on the front end of the side of the business too, right? When a customer goes to your VDB, your actual dealership's website, making sure that they can actually see the vehicle, right? The condition of the vehicle, right? Was there new tires added to that vehicle? Was there new brakes added to that vehicle that service departments put on that as well? So we're building some technologies to really build and bridge the actual front end of the business with the actual back end of the business too as well.
You help the dealer bridge that trust with the customer, yet you've also have tools such as X-Time and some of the ones we're talking about that really help build trust with the dealer as well. If you want to speak to that.
I think trust and transparency is everything, right? I get called in all the time when with X time and talking to some of these dealerships, and they ask, they get into video and they're like, it's not working. Why is it not working? And you started looking at things and you start looking at how things are, right? Are my technicians taking quality videos? I talk about qualityness, right? And also too, looking at the data. Does the data show that our customers are actually reviewing that video too, and how long are they viewing it for, right? Is that video longer than 3 to 4 minutes? Yes. And guess what? Our customers don't have attention spans for 3 to 4 minutes, right? Everything is important. And I go back to that data-centric conversation, right? It's not anymore about gut feeling. We've got to unveil the data, what our data is saying about our customers, to build a better customer experience and build a better transparency experience for our customers, to make sure that they continue to come back to these dealerships for service, but also buy vehicles as well.
Well, Skyler, we've also been hearing a lot about how this is continuing to evolve, not only in the dealership, but as the customer experience continues to evolve, the expectations around purchasing and transactions, really saving the customer lots of time, and in turn saving the dealership time. How does Cox Automotive help the dealership embrace some of these rapid technology changes?
I think one of the advantages our partners that are with Cox Automotive and our dealerships is our performance management team. I cannot speak highly enough about them. We talk about vendors, right? A lot of times people talk about Cox Automotive being as vendors. I don't think of us as vendors. We are partners, right? We are part of your goals, and I think that's what sets us apart in the industry. Is we are partners to you as dealerships to help you reach your goals, right? And that performance management team is there to make sure that you hit your goals, right? And to make sure that you're doing the right steps in the video process, and making sure you're following those processes, making sure you're listing your vehicles, and making sure you're putting the right attributes on those vehicles to sell those vehicles. And so when you talk about trust and transparency and speeding up not only the process of selling vehicles, but also speeding up the process of service, right? We've got to speed those things up, and technology is the way to do it, and we've got to use data to speed those processes.
That's been such a dominant motivator, is the time spent by the customer, whether it's in transacting to buy a vehicle or whether to get the vehicle serviced. And your focus on reducing that time, it reduces the friction and builds the trust and everything else along the way.
Yeah, I can't speak highly enough of it, right? And dealers in the sound of my voice here, right? We got to get to looking at data, right? We got to start uncovering. Every dealership is so different across the country, right? And the first thing at dealerships ask me, I ask a few questions, but then I go strictly to the data. What is the data saying to us, right? And I think about that too as well. It's not only just OEMs too as well. Like every OEM's customer is very different. We got to go to the customer. What is our customer saying about this? And I can't think about how important that is.
Final question, Skyler. This is your first time here at Northwood University?
It is my first time, yeah. Tremendously. It's been an exciting week here.
Yeah, I know we had a chance to spend some time. Some of your thoughts so far. And again, Cox has an amazing investment here in Northwood as well.
Yeah. Here, we support this university tremendously from a Cox Automotive perspective, right? And I think we're starting to see these students really electrify in the automotive industry. Here, I've been in the automotive industry and with Cox for over 12 years now, and I can't tell you how much important these students are to the actual automotive industry and how successful they're going to bring to this industry as well. And I'm super excited. I've met a few of these students this week, and just hearing what they want to do and some of the internships that they've been a part of, it's just been amazing. And you guys have been a big support of that too as well. So congratulations to you too.
Well, thank you for all that you do for the industry. Sarah, I know I'm looking forward to next spring coming down to Atlanta and doing a pop-up event there as well, and getting a chance to see some of the Cox facilities firsthand, Scott.
We're excited to have you guys, and we're excited to host that event, and excited to see what we can help do to revolutionize the way that we do and buy and sell vehicles.
So stay tuned, everybody. A lot more coming up from Cox Automotive. Skyler Chadwick is here with us at Northwood University. Sarah Vantine and myself, we're at the big pop-up event, and we will be right back.
The Fixed Ops Roundtable is a name you can trust for the latest technology, tools, and processes in a fast-changing retail environment. Become part of the brand that's building the most powerful consumer experiences. To be considered for the Fixed Ops Roundtable Certified program, please visit us at fixedopsroundtablecertified.com.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are coming to you live from Northwood University. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Katrina Ness, and we are here with some amazing Northwood students.
This is so exciting that we get to do another panel with our peers. So going down the line, starting with Dylan, if you guys would like to say your name and then introduce yourself, where you're from, and your year and a little bit about you.
So I'm Dylan Markovic. I'm from Holland, Michigan. I'm an automotive marketing and management major, and my family owns a dealership.
Wonderful.
All right. Hello, my name is Brooke Engelhardt. I've been on a panel a few times now, but always a pleasure to be here. I am actually, for this weekend here, we are at Northwood University and we have our auto show. So I am our Chief Marketing Officer of the 61st NUIAS, and I am from Saline, Michigan.
Wonderful.
Awesome. My name is Andrew Vogel. I am a marketing communications major. I'm a sophomore here at Northwood. I do a little bit of everything. I love sports, and I love the auto show in general. Just here to have a good time.
Wonderful.
Awesome. So starting with you, Andrew, and working your way down, what has your Northwood experience been like so far, both inside and outside of the classroom?
The Northwood experience for me has been amazing. Inside the classroom, I've got to meet a lot of professors that have taught me a lot of experiential learning things. So along the lines of that, I would say just understanding in the field what it's like to learn about like managing a business, being able to go through the operations day to day of what it's like to be in the field. And then also out of the classroom, I've had a lot of volunteer opportunities here. So being able to see prospective students coming in, but also being able to work in the field of like sports and auto are two of the biggest things, at least for me, that I've got to learn. So yeah.
Yeah, kind of jumping off of what you said, Andrew, the thought of being able to have so many volunteer experiences at Northwood, I feel like that is a huge part of the Northwood experience. Whether it's our Go Mad Day or Go Make a Difference Day, where we go out in our Midland community and help one another, whether it's helping out the auto show, being true student volunteers for this amazing event that is put on is phenomenal. And it's a student-led event, so just knowing that all students are volunteering for this phenomenal, well-put-on event, it's truly wonderful.
Yeah, and then going off what Brooke said, just getting to volunteer, and a big part of that is meeting all the people that we get to meet. That's something I really like, because we always talk about here at Northwood connections, so it's great getting to meet all these people, get those connections to prepare us for the real world.
Yeah, so you guys are some exemplary students at Northwood University. And you seem like you guys would have your pick of any school in the world. So why Northwood out of every college you could have gone to?
I picked Northwood specifically for the automotive program. Like I said, my family owns a dealership, and when I said I wanted to do automotive, my dad was like, Northwood's the place to go.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no, I definitely had my pick of schools as well, and Northwood was by far the winner. When I was in high school, I actually had taken a bus trip up to Northwood, and while I was on that bus trip, as soon as I stepped off of the bus, it just felt like home, and that was such a secure feeling about Northwood. So I am very grateful that I've chosen Northwood, and because of that, I have met all of these lovely people beside me, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunities that have been revealed to me and that I've taken a chance and hopped on board.
Awesome. I would like to say the multitude of opportunities that have been, I guess, posted to me in a way that it's like, okay, here we have opportunities for you in and out of the classroom, and there's lots of other things on top of it, like the auto show, like we have a fashion show here. So just many, many things that kind of like added up on top of it, and also the amazing people. Everybody here is so nice and hospitable, and it's like, okay, they really care about us here. Why don't I want to be a part of that? You know what I mean? Instead of being a statistic. So that's why I chose Northwood.
As Northwood students, we all know Northwood's guiding philosophy. So let's talk about that for a second. The Northwood idea, which values freedom, personal responsibility, and free enterprise. So what does the Northwood idea mean to you? And starting again with Andrew, working our way down.
I would like to say that the Northwood idea, to me at least, it means a lot, one, because personal responsibility is something that I struggled with in high school, relying on other people, but pretty much Northwood has just built me up in a way that it's like, okay, I can run this ship by myself, and I can also have resources from the people around me. But at the same time, with the free enterprise thing, it's like, okay, here we can trade anything we want. We have the allowances and freedoms of being able to talk to many other people. So that's pretty much what the Northwood idea means to me.
Awesome.
Lovely. Well, at this moment in time, I am actually the Fresh Air Ambassador of Northwood University. So while that also ties into the Northwood idea, it also ties in with Northwood's Code of Ethics, which is Fresh Air. And I'm very honored to be able to hold this position alongside of our other Fresh Air Ambassador. But most importantly, I feel that the Northwood idea means to truthfully just be that Northwood student, be that student who is willing to do whatever it takes to make things happen at this university, things in such an incredibly positive way, whether that's being involved in the student-led events, whether that's being involved in our RSOs, our registered student organizations. I think that there's a number of ways that students can get involved at Northwood, and I feel like that best represents the Northwood idea.
To me, the Northwood idea of like free business really means like showing us what business should be like when we actually go out into the world, and how we should run our own businesses, and how we should work at the businesses that we end up going to. So free business and being able to do what you want.
I agree. So Northwood's mission is to develop future leaders. How are you going to take what you're learning at Northwood and put that behind you, or use that to help you build a foundation for your career in the future?
Yeah, I think everything you learn at Northwood is really important to your career. From everything we learn in the classroom, because most of our professors come from industry, so they have a lot of valuable resources, people they know, valuable tips. All that kind of stuff really builds over time, and you learn what the real world is really like before you even leave and get out there while you're still at Northwood.
Yeah, definitely. This actually makes me want to bring up a story about LG Bright, the automotive professor here at Northwood University. LG has been nothing but an incredible person, an incredible mentor, and an incredible professor for myself as well as my peers. But he's always reminded me and taught me that it is so important to be yourself. And I think that taking that from Northwood and from LG himself and moving forward with that after Northwood, I think it's a great reminder for ourselves to just know that being yourself is whatever that means to you, whether that's being comfortable, whether that's being professional, whatever that stands for yourself. I think that's so important to remind each of our own individual selves, and I'm grateful for LG for sharing that. But, yeah.
I completely agree. I'm just going to piggyback off of that. Personally, I'm not an automotive major, but LG's a great guy. He's taught me a lot of things about individualism, but also building yourself up through the experiences that you want to, I guess, go for, right? Let's say you want experience in the auto show. Let's say you want experience in sports. Let's say you want experience in pretty much anything. People at Northwood are willing and allowing to help you find those things and just being able to build up your identity and whatever you want it to be.
Wonderful. All right, well, this panel was amazing to have, and on behalf of my peers and Northwood University, we thank you all for tuning in. Vanessa and I are inviting you to stay tuned and watch the rest.
We've never met, but we know you. You've got big plans for your career and your life.
Yes, I love it.
You're the overachiever, the go-getter with the entrepreneurial spirit.
This is such a cool idea. We could definitely...
You're also guided by this inner compass, your true north. Yeah, we know you. And maybe it's time for you to know us.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings at Northwood University. And on our panel today, we have some incredible members of the Carter Myers Automotive Group. Ted, this is going to be such an incredible discussion.
I am so awed that we have Carter Myers here at Northwood, and want to welcome Beth and Justin. If you would introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Oh, thanks, Ted. My name is Beth Lucchesi, and I'm the Talent Acquisition Specialist for Carter Myers Automotive. So lead recruiter, but I spend most of my time recruiting for the fixed operations team.
My name is Justin Morgan. I'm the General Manager at CMA's Honda of Lynchburg, and I'm extremely excited to be back on campus, and it's a great event, and so excited to be here.
Well, Beth, Carter Myers Automotive is such a staple in the industry. Everyone knows Liza Borges, but we may not know everything about CMA and the background. Could you share a little bit more about CMA and what your experience has been like there?
I'd love to. How much time do we have? No, I'm just kidding. CMA, Carter Myers Automotive, is a 100-year-old automotive dealer group headquartered in Virginia. So we started in 1924 with a single-point Ford store, and we are currently 24 rooftops, supporting 18 new car brands. We're also building an open point, another Honda store in Lexington Park, Maryland, which will put us in 4 states. So we're very blessed to be experiencing growth and transformation in our industry. And our mission, aside from selling cars and servicing cars, what's really important to CMA, which some of you may not know, is moving lives forward. And we have core values that shape really everything we do, from the customer experience to recruiting to working with vendor partners and sharing the message in automotive. And just to share a little bit, if I may, about those values, we put people first in everything we do. We want to create situations where everyone wins, and we are never moving straight, but always forward. And that's a credit to our leader, Liza Borges.
Well, and Liza Borges is such a name in the industry. We've had her on the Fixed Ops Roundtables many times, Ted, and she always leaves us with so much incredible information. And Beth, you know, one of the things that people may not who are new to the roundtable, we have a lot of students that are watching from Northwood University or new automotive professionals. Beth, could you share a little bit more about Liza Borges and her story specifically?
Absolutely. She is phenomenal, just a dynamo. Liza is the 4th generation of her family to lead our company. And she is so proud of the work that we do, not only in the automotive space, but in supporting our communities. Many years ago, her dad and granddad created an ESOP program. For those of you that may not be familiar, it's an employee stock ownership program where all full-time employees share in the ownership of our organization. So our employees, our associates, own 26% of our company, and that's something that she and everyone in the Myers family are incredibly proud of. We all share in the success of our company, and I think it makes us a team, and it makes us look out for one another in ways that other companies may just not experience. And if I were a college student interested in considering automotive as a career, leadership within variable ops, within fixed ops, in any aspect of automotive, I would look to a family like the Myers family.
Yeah, she leads by example. Big shout out to Liza Borges. Liza has been there for everything that I know I have asked of her from the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's never been a no, okay? And she's always there, whether it's on a panel or whether it's some fresh ideas. And Beth, I also want to compliment you on some very fresh, innovative things that you are doing in fixed operations. I noticed it looked like I was watching the draft for football, but I saw the signings, okay, of the new technicians, and I thought that was very innovative. I want to give a shout out to our good friend Robert McLeod, also Sarah from Carter Myers, who's been very instrumental with the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Oh my gosh, Ted! So many incredible associates at Carter Myers, and Beth, it's just the culture and the development of the people is what's so important, and y'all demonstrate an incredible job of it.
Thank you, Sarah.
So, Justin, I know you attended Northwood here. Okay, you graduated in 2005. We spoke a little bit earlier. Tell us a little bit about your experience here at Northwood, and then how students, entering the workforce soon, will be able to set themselves apart.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Northwood gives you a great foundation to really get your career started. In terms of what really separates candidates or new hires for me, would be, people skills. How good are they at communicating? Really working on your communication skills. One of the things that's great about working for Carter Myers Automotive is we're a strength-based organization. So one of the things we do during our onboarding is we do an assessment for all of our new hires, and really I help them identify what their strengths are, lean into them, and bring the most out of it. The other thing that I would say, to students just entering the workforce is to really take the time and develop your own personal brand. On the sales side of things, the people that really embrace social media and embrace ways to get their individual message out there, find a way to communicate well with customers in the channels that they want to receive the information in is vitally important. So I see it every day. The salespeople on our floor that take the time to do the extra work to get themselves out there are always going to have the most success. You need knowledge, which Northwood does a great job of preparing you for. But the people that really excel are the people that are great communicators with not only their fellow associates, but with their management teams and with their customers. I would say, the final thing, for new people that are coming into the workforce is to be adaptable. This industry is always changing, everything from technology to processes. So don't be resistant to change, embrace it. I know I look at my store, whenever we have a new product or service, we talk about finding a champion to really get behind that product and get the rest of the staff involved. So when something happens at the store, if you work at the dealership level, embrace that, be the person that, wants to take that on and communicate that to the rest of the staff and the customer base.
Beth, I want to compliment Carter Myers as well, because not only are you so focused on your employees and lives moving forward, but also their families, okay? I've noticed that in the social media posts, in the presentations that Liza has done. Liza has delivered several keynotes at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, some early on, okay? And she was an early adopter for what we're doing in Fixed Ops, and I see a lot of that happening. I mentioned Robert McLeod earlier, who moved from out of state with his family. And I was so impressed that Carter Myers took the time, Justin, to interview not only him, but to have his family come in for interviews to make sure this was going to be the right thing for all of them before they made a big move. If you want to speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about it all the time. In order to have happy customers, you need to have happy employees. So, myself as a leader, my number one service is to service my employees, is to make sure that they're taken care of, their personal needs are taken care of, financial needs, really sit down with them, set their goals, lean into what those goals are, ask good questions. It just always comes to fruition that when you have a happy employee base, you're going to have a profitable business operation. And so we really lean into our employees and we try to make sure that they feel fully supported, and it's always been important to our organization. I know Liza and Carter Myers.
This is your first trip to Northwood, am I correct?
It is mine, yes, sir.
What is your overall impression now? You've been here a couple days and had a chance to experience some of the students and the activities here.
I wish I had known about it when I was a senior in high school. This is an amazing facility where I see such engagement between the faculty and the administrators and the students, and the bonds that the students create together in creating not only this amazing automotive show with this fantastic history, but other clubs and support and fun. And it just seems like a really incredible community. They are preparing these students to be the leaders of America.
Well, Beth and Justin, I want to thank you on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and on behalf of Northwood University for being with us here this week, for making the trip up here. You've got a great organization, one of the top tier names in automotive, Sarah, the Carter Myers organization, second to none.
Carter Myers is an incredible organization, and Liza has such an incredible team behind her.
Everybody, we're here at Northwood University with the Carter Myers Automotive team, and we're going to be right back.
The more inventory you have, the more turn you have, the better chance you're going to have the part. And you got to hit the lost sale key every time, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that we're looking at, when you look at your inventory, every avenue for parts helps your inventory grow, right? So if it's e-commerce, if it's wholesale, if it's the shop, your goal is to have a great inventory managed by your parts manager. Now, e-commerce is a great way because you get paid. You get paid. I mean, wholesale, gotta get paid, So I think that when you look at retail, I think of e-commerce as your front counter to the world. And that front counter to the world is if anybody wants to buy a great part. So we have Land Rover golf bags to Land Rover parts available for sale to the World Wide Web. as we look at. So I think our goal is, if you don't have e-commerce, the question is, why not?
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have Don Andres. We are so excited to get to talk to Don about some incredible things, Ted.
Sarah, we're at Northwood University, and it doesn't get better than this. Don Andres, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable in Northwood.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for the invite. I'll be honest with you, I've been blown away by this event, both the great leadership that came in yesterday and spoke to all the students and all the panels, and now this today. And of course, there's the car show, and the car show was spectacular.
Now, is this your first trip to Northwood?
Yeah, it is so sad because I've known about Northwood forever, coming out of the Detroit market for 20 years. This is where the dealers sent their kids because they knew this was the curriculum that would put them in the best position, really, to be successful. I just hadn't made it up here. And it's beautiful. It really is. But the car show is over the top. We walked it yesterday, and the fact that they can bring the collection of vehicles that they have from all over, really the world now, I've discovered, is impressive. It really is.
Don, your focus on fixed operations. You know, we learned a lot yesterday when we were here at Northwood University. There were lots of conversations around how technology, how customer experiences are evolving. I know you've written a book specifically getting into fixed operations, and I have it here, Why Auto Service Departments Fail to Grow. Could you share with us a little bit, what was the inspiration to write this book?
Well, you know, it's funny. It started off with just trying to help a service advisor, right? We ask a lot of service advisors today, especially with the introduction of technology. All you have to do is look at a desktop of a service advisor, and he's got all these windows open, and so everybody wants to help. But that does create some stress and chaos. But what ended up happening was, it turns out that it was a leadership book, in the sense that it's the leaders that sometimes put the advisors and even the technician processes into sometimes stress and chaos. So the book goes back to talking about things that are important, which is customer engagement. And so how do we get customer engagement? We have to have time. The advisor's got to have time. So how do we do that? We prepare. And so it goes all the way back to the phone call. And so it's an easy read. I've learned not to write something too long for fixed operations. But at the same time, it does send us home some important messages, I think, for that.
You know, Sarah, I think it's ironic that we're here at Northwood and we're right outside the bookstore. I'm thinking that Don's book belongs in the bookstore at Northwood as a staple of Northwood life. What do you say?
Oh, absolutely, Ted. And you know, that as Don mentioned, this is so packed with incredible information. Don really does an incredible job of weaving in some personal pieces, but then also really, as you mentioned, providing that leadership insight. And it's really a compact, precise book. And this would be an incredible addition, Ted, to Northwood.
I've been impressed with the students already knowing as much as they know about fixed operations, the way the curriculum requires them to go into dealerships and evaluate their performance and see where there's opportunities. That's impressive.
Were you surprised in seeing that at such an early age?
Absolutely. And then they spoke so confidently about areas that they believe they could help in a dealership. When you have somebody that you can hire that is coming in with that kind of energy and focus and understanding, you know, I wish I would have came here as I entered the business many years ago.
I know you're seeing a lot of things happening, Don Andres, in the industry right now. It's an exciting time to be in our industry. What are you keeping your eye on? What do you see that gets your attention right now at this point in time?
Well, there's a handful of things that have really been impressive. One is the fact that technology has allowed these technicians now to create probably more trusting in this evaluation of a vehicle and their needs. Now they're doing video and sending that to the client. So now when they're sharing the concerns with the customer, They're doing it with real-time video of their car. I think that's impressive. The other part of it is this idea of focusing on working around a customer's busy life. One of the areas I think we've always struggled is in the industry forever was, hey, these are our hours, come drop off your car and we'll call you when it's done. Well, the truth is that didn't work. So the independents have always been able to capture that because of it, right? And so we've learned finally to say, okay, let's start working around a customer's life. What does that mean? That means we're going to do pickup and delivery, and there's not just companies that we'll talk about. There's actually people out there that you can hire companies. They'll do that on your behalf, and of course that's powerful. Then of course mobile service has been introduced. I've spent some great time this year getting to know Ed Roberts, getting to know Jim Sabino, and what they're accomplishing in their vehicles with mobile service. It's impressive. It's really impressive. And when they can't get something done at a particular visit, they're almost immediately setting up the customer to have the car picked up, brought into the dealership to continue that repair, and then bring it back to them. So again, the customer is an inconvenience. Now it makes sense to do work with that store, and that's impressive.
All this focus on convenience and the customer and transparency. I heard here over the last couple of days also the reference to the hospitality industry.
Yeah, it's amazing. And of course, that really comes down to relationship building. When you are in the hospitality business, what you're really doing is you're building a relationship, whether it's at a restaurant and you getting to know the customer's name and starting to recognize things that they are going to want when they arrive. The good restaurants figure that out, right? Well, now the dealerships are starting to understand. Now, what does that really mean? Well, you've got to slow the process down enough on that phone call. A customer may call and just want a date and time to bring the vehicle in, and we have to understand that we got to go a little farther on that phone call. We got to find out what's going on in their busy life, work that appointment around that busy life so that we have time to engage with them when they come in. Now the time works for them. We've prepared for their arrival. We've got the pre-work order ready. We've looked at their history. We know things that we want to talk about on their car. So now I'm having a real conversation and engaging with them. And of course, now I'm building that trust. And so that hospitality part of it is really us doing more work. We got to work harder prior to the visit, but it allows us to have a real relationship. Reminds me of the Cheers, right? Everybody knows your name, right? I think that's important.
And Don, you mentioned time and time again the importance of really growing your team and providing that mentorship. Can you talk to us a little bit? What do you see on the horizon as things that dealerships need to be implementing when it comes to mentoring and bringing along their next generation?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think I want to go a little bit farther back too to talk about leadership with service managers. I get into a lot of stores and we promote service managers out of either a service advisor or a technician role, and they're really good at some aspects, but we don't necessarily commit the training that is necessary for the areas that they may not have that much experience in. They want to learn, they have the desire, they have the passion, but we don't necessarily invest into that leadership. So we want to first start with getting the leaders themselves fully trained for now they understand every aspect of the, and then when it comes to building that tech core, we have to engage in the mentorship program. You can't leave this young man who comes in, changes oil for 6 months, and now starts to get bored on this island. We have to put him with a veteran, say, this is what your future can look like, but now we got to start to teach. We got to learn and have him experience this idea of what does it take to really diagnose a check engine, and what does it take to diagnose an electrical problem, and the mentor's right there steering him along. And by the way, also talking about what he has to do financially, putting money aside. There's good months, there's bad months, there's good seasons, there's bad seasons. And mentors do that managers sometimes don't have time to do. So I agree, it's important, it really is.
Don Andres, a great resource in our industry, everybody. He's the author of the new book, Why Service Departments Fail to Grow. Don, I know you work with a lot of dealerships around the country. In our last few moments, any advice for the folks at home watching for their dealerships?
Well, I got to tell you, I think you have to embrace what the future is bringing, both technology with the cars and the EVs, but in people. Invest in your people. Realize the value of somebody that wants to be there. They've joined your team. They want to be there. So now you want to value them. You want to train them up. You want to answer questions and frustrations they might have. And of course, you want to get rid of that stress and chaos. I think it's important.
What a great message, everybody, from Don Andres here with us at Northwood University. Don, thank you for all you do for the industry.
Thank you. Love being here. Love being here.
Everybody, we're at Northwood University at the pop-up event, and we are going to be right back.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Ted Ings and I are here today with Tony Owens. We are at Northwood University, and Ted, such a great privilege to interview the one and only Tony Owens.
You took my line, Sarah. I was going to say that's the one and only. Tony, welcome to Northwood University.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here again. I was here in June, and it's so great to be here again. This is, without question, the best college in the business. What can I say? You know, my LinkedIn says, Mr. Positivity. That's what it says about me. How can I not be positive? How could I not be? Look what this business is doing right now. This is the best time for the business ever. Dr. McDonald mentioned on an interview with Katrina's mother that she would not be left alone in this college to languish on her among the other people. That is so huge. This is a personal thing with these people up here. This college is amazing. The things they are doing is amazing. CDK, what can I say about CDK? Such a great thing for this college here. It's such a great thing. Mr. Benstock this morning talked about serving people, what it's all about. And he nailed it right on the head. This has been the best event ever. Great superstars here, great students, just a great time to be in the car business. It is so sensational. I'm just excited as can be.
Sarah, I can't think of any greater supporter of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we have many great colleagues and friends here with us at Northwood. Tony Owens is at the top of the pack. He's there for all of the After Dark shows, the 4-day events, and now it seems all the pop-up events, especially the ones at Northwood.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to be here. I read in a pamphlet they're going to have something going on in April. I will be back. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger's line, I will be back. That's the way it's going to be.
Well, Tony is also going to be at Reynolds and Reynolds. We have that coming up, and then Bozard Ford Lincoln. I was telling Tony he's going to run the Triple Crown of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Triple Crown. And Tony, just, you know, one of the things that I think is so incredible about you has always been, you said you coined Mr. Positivity. If you look at the chat, if you look at any of the comments, he is such a supporter for everybody in the industry, not just the Fixed Ops Roundtable, but he looks at so many professionals and up-and-coming professionals like our Northwood students.
Man, it's a passion for me. The young people, this university, the car business. It's my life. It's my life's work. I got 45 years in, and I was going to retire in 5 more to make it even 50. I've decided to go 15 more to make it even 60. They're going to have to call the National Guard to get me out of there. I love walking in a dealership. Dealerships are my life. They're my life's work, and I love it so much. And this is the best group in the business. I have so many great contacts because of Ted Ings and Sarah and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. How can I not be the best supporter? How can I not be?
And Tony, thank you also for all the mentoring that you do behind the scenes that people don't see before we get the After Dark shows started each Monday and Wednesday night. And you've been there as a mentor for so many people at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I don't know if you'd like to speak to that, but you know, you've won the hearts of a lot of the people here at Northwood. I know Sarah and I yesterday when we entered the conference area where the meeting was going to be. We saw a big gathering of all these professionals, and they were listening to somebody speak, and I thought it might be Dr. McDonald. Sarah, they were listening to Tony Owens, who was holding court on the floor.
I don't know what to say about that. Why anyone wants to listen to me, I don't know. I'll talk. Hey, I'll talk you to death. It's no problem. I love to talk, as you know. And I told Ted, I said, I got a lot to say here. How can I not have a lot to say? And I'm going to put this out there. I want to mentor people. Anybody that wants mentored, please reach out to me. Anything you need, I will be there for you. 24/7, 365. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way I do it. It's very important to me that this amazing business is left better than it was when I found it, and that's my goal.
And you know, not only the students, but this weekend happens to be the International Auto Show weekend. I noticed that you've also been checking out a lot of the cars and vehicles that are here. I don't know if you want to speak to that as well, because I know you have a affinity for certain vehicles.
I love cars. I've owned 487 cars, and yeah, I know. That's why I'm still working. But you know, Alexander just knocked it dead with this show. There's so many great cars here, and it's his last show, and he's going out with a bang. Great job, Alexander. Super.
Well, Tony, you are a passionate person when it comes to empowering people and mentoring people, but you also have a passion for the cars themselves. And I know I saw a shirt that you were wearing yesterday. And could you tell us a little bit more about your side projects that you do with vehicles?
Well, my money pit, I got my money pit. It's a Mark 8, it's my 5th Mark 8. And I love the cars. They were way ahead of their time when they came out in '93. Not so much anymore. Of course, I have added some things, reverse camera, some side mirror detection. I've been trying to paint it. That's working out pretty good, much better than it was. I love the car. I got 12 shirts. I want to be like Fred Flintstone, wear money pit shirt every day. That's the way it wants to be. So, yeah.
What a great opportunity. Tony Owens at Northwood University. Tony, you also have, over the years, coined nicknames for a lot of the people at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm not going to let you off the hook on that today. I know you have one for me. I know you have one for Sarah. What are some of the nicknames that you've got out there, Mr. Cheerleader?
Well, cheerleader's me, of course. I'm going to cheer everybody on. You're Mr. Authority, of course. How can you not be Mr. Authority? If you need to know anything about the automotive business, just reach out to Mr. Authority here and join the group and be participating in it. You're going to get a lot out of that. And Miss Dream Team here, what an amazing individual she is. Everywhere she goes, gold shows up. That's no accident.
And our good friend Ed Roberts, he has a nickname as well?
B-Top, one of the greatest men I know, next to you, probably the greatest. Nobody better than Ed Roberts. He's the best in the business, the best human being. Great book, too, by the way. If you haven't read it, Mile 1, you need to. I got it right here, Mile 1. It's a sensational book. I've got 3 of them, and I read them a lot.
What does B-Top stand for?
Best team on the planet.
All right, at Bozard. So Tony Owens running the trifecta. I think we're going to call this the Triple Crown, okay, in October. And look forward to having you on each leg of the Triple Crown, Tony Owens.
I'm looking so forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for everything that you and the Fixed Ops Roundtable have done for me.
Everybody, we're here at Northwood University, Sarah Vantine and I, with the one and only Tony Owens. We're here at the pop-up event, and we are going to be right back.
Hello, my name is Nikhil Kalani, Chief Information Security Officer at Proton Dealership IT and Cybersecurity. We've recently opened a brand new Security Operations Center here in our Dayton, Ohio headquarters. This center is a substantial upgrade for constant monitoring of suspicious activity on our customer systems. On-site professionals analyze the cyber landscape, the techniques criminals are using, and monitor the signals received by our tools. Our new Security Operations Center will elevate monitoring and response to a whole new level, keeping you safer than ever before. If you'd like to learn more about what Proton can do for you, let's talk.
Welcome to Northwood University, Ted. This has been an amazing day at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and here we are. We're at the end, a conclusion of this incredible event.
We did it again. Year number 2, Sarah. So there were a lot of takeaways here at the pop-up event and everything happening at Northwood this week. What did you think was most memorable to you of all the panels, all the people, all the speakers that we had on the roundtable?
You know, the biggest thing that I took away from this event was just really the future of automotive and how important it is to be focused on the customer experience, making things easy, making things more time efficient. And then, of course, the incredible students at Northwood University, just getting to see and meet these students and getting to see the passion that they have. The future in this industry is in great hands.
It is. So on behalf of Sarah Vantine and the entire fixed operations team, we're so grateful to Northwood to allow us to come in and host us here this week at their beautiful campus here in Midland, Michigan. I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.